So we're folding once, folding twice, folding 3 times, folding 4 times. So that you've got something, it's about the size of a monocle. It's a rectangle, right? It does not matter whether you fold both ways or one way. You know, half of the lengthwise or the short side, you'll wind up with the same thing, which is basically a paper divided into 16 equal rectangles. Oops, here, let's see, make sure you see that. And so the next thing I'd like you to do is just take anything, another sheet of paper, a book, something, and with your pencil, you're going to draw, you're going to redraw those lines so that you can see them better. So I always manage to see the first line, and then the second fold is a little tricky because it's folded in a couple ways. So I'll actually just refold it like that. Send it over. This means your final drawing is going to be folded, which is okay. For those of you who have an eraser, a ruler, I'm going to show you a different way. You just hang tight while we get these guys set up, right? Right, so you're just going to be using whatever straight edge you have to create this grid. For those of you who have, oops, sorry, there we go. Messy grid this morning. Oh, and by the way, everyone's going to need an eraser. We did have somebody show up in class last week thinking they didn't need an eraser. You're going to need an eraser. meaning errors are a very significant part of the drawing process. Struggling to draw and making mistakes and getting that right. All right, so for those of you who have a ruler, I'm going to scoot this over so you can see this. You're going to take your pencil, I'm going to take a marker, and you're going to do on your blank sheet of paper what I'm doing right here. I'm going to line my ruler up with the bottom. It can be centimeters or inches, it does not matter. And I'm going to find the halfway point of each edge of the paper, and I'm going to mark it. So up here, I'm going to mark it, and up here, I'm going to mark it. And then over here, I'm going to mark the halfway point too. You can go back and forth. So whatever is the easiest way for you to measure. I'm not even going to tell you what my numbers are, because if you're using a free paper, it's a different number. I don't want to confuse you. So you'll have these 4 marks at the halfway point. And then of course you can just line up you can line this up. You can line up between the 2 lines here, the dots. Right? And this is the first 2 folds. Now to get the next 2 folds, you're going to find the halfway point of each halfway point. So that's the halfway point here. If I have to, I'll move my ruler over so I don't have to do too much crazy math in my head. I'm going to come and do it up here. It takes a little bit longer. I like this process though, because it gets, and does anybody know what we're doing? What are we doing? Anybody have an idea? Those of you who have taken the class before, you can shout it out if you know. What are we doing? Oscar, what are we doing?
We're gridding the paper so that we can draw each thing on a paper in smaller segments so that we don't have to measure each individual thing.
Right, exactly. Well said. So we're creating a grid. And this grid is going to help us get things in the right places, because you probably have noticed that when you try to eyeball something and figure out where it is, that you get things in the wrong places. Has anybody noticed that? That is a very universal skill or experience. We'll talk more about that as we get into it. So I'm going to take a picture of this. So this is done on A3 paper. A4 paper, I think, right? A4 is the small, A3 is the smaller,
Yep.
A4 is the smaller paper. This is US paper. So I'm going to take a picture of this so you guys have it on your on the WhatsApp thread. But I also, for the Europeans who are using A4, I have an A4 size grid. Here, I'll show it to you. Okay. A4 size grid. So the issue with the A4 size grid is that the proportions are a little different. So if you try to translate this over to your A4 paper, everything's going to look a little elongated. So hang on, I'm going to take a picture of this.
So
And hold on, I'll get you, we'll all get there. So if you are using A4 paper, so if you're using A3 paper, here, you're going to use this grid. This is A3. A3, smaller.
bigger.
A3 is the bigger?
Yeah.
Well, okay, whatever. This is the, this is 8.5 by 11 by 11 inches. It's the US size printer paper. Okay, so that is 8.5 by 11. And then this one is for the bigger paper. It's 12 by 16 inches, basically, which is how big A4 is.
That's A3.
A3. Ah, see? Do what I say, not what I do.
So the A3, but I thought if you do it in half and in half and in half, it's still, even if it's A3 or A4 or anything, it's still a problem, is it?
It's not the same proportions. The ratio from here to here has to be the same, and it is not. So that's the problem. Let's see here. I want to, 1 second, I'm getting over the European thing.
Because I've got an A3 piece of paper, as it turns out.
Great. So this is if you're using with the bigger European paper. It's about 12 by 16 inches, about.
Yes.
Right. So this
actually,
is what you use if you're using the bigger. This grid is what you use if you're using the bigger paper.
Where is it, Leah?
I just sent it off I just sent it in the
Oh,
thread.
sorry.
All right. So this is what I'm going to be working off this A3 paper, but if you are doing a drawing and trying to grid it, you're going to be working with and you're using the bigger paper, you're going to want to use what I just sent you, the 12 by 16 inch version. So pull that up on your computer screen or look at that, or watch me do this on the smaller paper and then look at the bigger one when you're working. Okay. And then the bigger question, of course, is always how to start. Like, how do we start when we're doing this? I want to bring this down a little bit so you can see the kitties. These kitties belong to one of our other students. I kind of thought we'd see her today. All right. So the first thing we need to think about is not, you guys are probably thinking, oh, how do I draw the cat's eyes? How do I get the fur? You're probably also thinking on some other direction. Oh, there's a smaller cat and a bigger cat. There's like fabrics. There's patterns on the back of these fabrics. When you're working in right brain, which is the visual spatial side, that idea of your subject goes away. And you are working here, trying to find something that will draw on this. I'll take a picture of this so you can really see it. You are not thinking about kitties, you're thinking about shapes. And these kitties are kind of all one shape. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. They're attached. They're kind of attached into the shape of a heart. Let's see. I'm going to take a picture of this. Can you see that? So I know it's a little bit tricky to see on the screen. I'm about to take a picture of it and send it across the thread so you can see it better. But basically, when we're thinking about drawing, we're starting with the bigger outside shape. So in this case, we're going to start by drawing none of the inside lines, but the outside lines. Oops, let me take a picture of this. And I'll send it over so you can see it better. We find that it's tough to get, let's see, there you go. Yeah, move this over just a second. It's tough to really see the colors on the Zoom screen. There you go. Can you guys see that? So this is the shape that we're going to be starting with. So when you start with your pencil, let's get here. I'm going to put these together so that you can see them. You want to, you're going to start by drawing these orange lines in the outer shape. I might actually do the beginning. I want you guys to watch the beginning, and then I'm going to put this picture up on the big screen so you can see it really easily. Okay, so that means I'm going to start like this. I'm starting over here. And I am, I'll sketch this so you can actually see it. Sorry, there's a lot of setup involved and making sure your setup is correct. So for me, because I'm right-handed, I want my source, my drawing side on the left-hand side. So I'm going to start like this. Yoink, sorry, come on. There we go. Almost. Camera, yes, there. So here, I'm starting with this shape. This outer shape. And I can see that like this ear, for example, everything in these shapes all stay in this rectangle. Whoops, down. Right. This needs to come down just a little bit. So you see, even as I'm doing this, I'm kind of having to adjust. There's a bunch of things that are happening. One is that we don't actually see very well how big or small things are. So it's really easy to get things either too big. See how I'm kind of following here along with the grid? In some cases, I'm almost seeing that these are triangles that I'm trying to get the shape right and in the right position. The less I think about Kitty, the easier it gets about the kitty, and the more I think about the shape, the easier it gets to draw. The reason people don't do this is that and actually if I want to, I can even kind of locate, okay, here's where this intersects. I can even put a dot here. So I know that when I'm drawing this line down and then curving over, it comes down and up like that. So the grid helps you see where things are. And notice I'm not worried about fur. This kind of comes actually down along this line. This comes up like this. So I am going to take a picture of this. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys big so you can see it. And the reason people don't do this is that it looks weird, right? This doesn't look right. It looks awkward. You want to focus on the kitty's eyes and the kitty's fur. But if we don't get these shapes right, we can't get anything right. So let me send this over to you, and then let me send over my drawing, and you guys go ahead and try and get started. And then I'm going to put this up on the screen. So give me just a second, and I will, what's up? Here we are. This is what your shapes, your kind of outer shapes will look like. All right, and now let me send this. Nope. I'm going to take another picture and send this over to my computer so you guys can see it big. And I also want to make sure. So for those of you who are, you'll see there's a difference in, I wonder if I can just get this where you can see these both up here. Let's see what I can do. Or maybe I'll put up one on the screen. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, we're going to put this one up on the screen here so you can see it. And then I'll take a picture of the European picture. And maybe we'll put that on my share screen. So go ahead and start with those shapes. That's what we're starting with. I'm not sure I exactly thought this whole, how do I get these two different size things through? So give me a moment while I figure that out, how to get that over. So the one you're seeing now is the A3 size, and I'm sending over A4 or whatever. I'm sending over the European. I'm sending over the European one now. Yes.
In the gridded one that you sent, I can't see the tail.
The tail of the first one?
Yes, it cuts off. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, it actually, I missed it. It actually is down here, like this. It's here. It's tough to see. Yeah,
I see it on the Zoom. That's fine.
Yep, it's right there. I missed it. And that actually brings up an interesting question, like, which is if you can't see it very well, do you need to, is that a focus? But I do think we need that tail there.
I think it's good to have it.
Uh-huh. So here is, I'm about to take a picture of the European size. That's coming across the thread. No, come on, stop it. Here we go. Oops.
Oh, that's a clearer picture. Oh.
So does this surprise anybody, how we're starting? Does this seem different or weird? Welcome to the world of the right brain. So the right brain is not really interested in what a thing is. The left brain is interested in what a thing is. The left brain is really a verbal, conceptual way of approaching the world. That means that you have an image in your mind that you attach to a word or a concept. It's hugely important when we're trying to learn language. I hear all the time people tell me, oh, I'm more right brain than left brain. But if you're telling me you're more right brain than left brain, you're doing that in a left brain way. Right? The left brain way is how we learn language. And it becomes very dominant in our thinking process. It becomes like super dominant in our thinking process because we it takes many years to learn how to talk, right? Like the first 5, 6, 7 years were spent sort of absorbing, hearing language and then assigning words and concepts. And you'll find that as you get as you get, more adept at a language, you're able to add more concepts in your mind. So that means you have an image of what somebody's talking about when you hear a word. But when you are dealing with right brain, the right brain is visual spatial. It's about, how do I say it? It's about like shapes of things. It's not really about what the thing is, because your idea, your verbal concept of the thing might get you in the way, of actually being able to draw this in the correct, appropriate shape. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. One of the things you'll notice is that as you look at things, you tend to make them bigger than they really are. So the first step in making a drawing is to get the kind of outer shapes so that you know where to put the inner spaces. You have, and that this shape, for example, or this shape which is the shape between the cats, is as important in the drawing as the cats themselves. So everything has equal merit, right? This triangle here has to be the correct shape. So does this paw. So does the shape of this head. So does this little space between their paws. So does the shape between their two bellies right here. They're of equal importance, but your left brain doesn't want to assign equal importance to them. Gesundheit.
Salud.
Gracias.
So as you're getting this down, go ahead and send a picture if you want me to take a look, or if you feel like it's right, or you feel like you want some help. Send it across the thread.
So
You'll notice that the reason I have a different European size, let's see if I can show this, is that the proportions are a little bit different on the European paper. So if you can see here, the back is a little bit longer. This is longer. So everything's a little bit more stretched out and elongated. So we'll get that. Anyways, so if you're working with the bigger paper, oh, good, Mira, excellent. And since I didn't add this in, can you add this little shape? Whoops, sorry. This little shape in, which is the tail, which was a little bit hard to see in the smaller version. Also, I want you, Mira, to look. I just want to see. Everything looks pretty good. These shapes don't look right. So I want you to try and kind of make this ear a little bit more upright.
Okay.
And this curve down. And this ear actually comes below. If you can see it, it kind of comes right at the edge and below. Isn't that funny? Like, so that's your left brain. Let's see, Sandra. Ooh. Okay, Sandra, this looks pretty good. The ear is bigger. Sorry, I keep pointing to the European one. The ear needs to be angled down. So it comes out here, but it's a little bit wider. Bring it down a little farther.
okay.
But that looks good. This probably can get a little straighter.
Okay.
This sounds so you guys, I'm working with Sandra because Sandra is actually an amazing cat drawer. So the details I'm giving her, and take a look at this back, Sandra. It's a little
It's too
straighter. Yeah. So one of the things, and this is almost straight up. So
Yeah.
one of the things that's really easy to do is to curve things, to make curves too big. And I often find it's much easier to break curves down into little pieces, into straight lines that kind of intersect. So what I mean is like this. Very hard to show this with this. Let's see if we can do it this way. There we go. See that? So the curve kind of intersects here, but really this is a straight line that comes up here, and this is a straight line. But it's very easy to make things way too curved. Is anybody finding they're doing this? Let's see, Marcel. Marcel, are you? I think you're doing this the wrong way.
I'm on a square piece of paper. Maybe
Oh, you're on a square piece of paper. All right. Well, the grid may not work for a square piece of paper. I'm just telling you, you may have to do some adjusting. So I'm looking here. You might want to try, Marcel. Yeah, I think your cat's too wide. I'm checking.
Oh.
You see my point? Because your proportions are not correct. So
Yep.
they aren't the same. So what I would do is ditch, since you have a little time, I would actually ditch the grid and try to do a proportional drawing, and notice that, let's see.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Thing, right? Notice that from here to here is almost out to here, right?
Yep.
So maybe find where the halfway point is between these two shapes. So if I was just drawing the kitties and I was finding the halfway point, actually, let's just be, yeah, the grid won't help you if the proportions aren't the same. It'll get things very wonky. So this is, just to get anal here, this is a 7 inches. So 3.5 is right here. This is the halfway point between the cats.
Okay.
Here. So when you're sketching out, it's exactly the same on this size as it is here.
Gotcha.
And then the next thing you're going to check is, let's see, maybe how far up the body is. The next line you're going to want to probably check is this one.
Yep.
So check how long that is. That's all. It's just a little bit shorter than this length.
Ah, got it.
See that?
Yep.
So do you guys see what I was just telling Marcel? If she's using a square, this won't work because the proportions will be different. So for the grid to work, your proportions have to be the same. You've all got to be using either an A3 or an A4 size piece of paper. Looking good. Send something over, guys, if you want to. I'll look at it. Don't be scared. I'm not as hard on the beginners as I am on the people who have been doing this a while, meaning I want to push you, but not too far.
Yeah, what about the next lines? The inner lines? No.
Yeah, they'll be the inner lines. So let me see if I can show you these. I'll draw these in with blue. Oh yeah, that's pretty visual. So of course, this shape is hugely important. And this shape is hugely important. And also the shapes in between, right? So getting these shapes is going to be really important.
What about between the tails down there?
There is no between the tails. There's just this and this there. That's the shape. This is one tail and this is the other tail.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
And then we can start getting into these shapes. So there's a leg. And here's a paw. But all in due time, right? So now we're doing this. So notice we haven't even, these are the next shapes. I'll send them over to you guys in both forms. Let's see. Now the nice thing about A4 is it's bigger. You can see everything.
No, that's
better.
A3. That's
A3,
bigger.
right. It's nice thing about A3. I'll get it, or maybe I won't. When you're really in right brain, talking becomes hard. It's always a challenge as a teacher to try and balance those things. So you're going to start with these shapes. Here, let me send this. So this is, these are your next set of shapes. Awesome. All right. And thank you for letting me know you're on A4. So here is, okay. So A3, remind me again, A3.
A3 is the big one.
Thank you. A3 is the bigger one. And A4.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Awesome, Kat. So you're on A4. You're on the smaller paper. Kat, that looks pretty. Kat, the cats look good. Very nice. So go ahead and get started on the A4 inner lines, which I'm about to photograph and send over to you. A4. There we go. So those inner lines. So what's really interesting, and notice your instincts, and I'm going to tell you this is your left brain, are telling you, I should be getting the head, I should be getting the face, I should be getting, notice that these first lines have nothing
The
to do
eyes.
with any of that. The eyes, I need to get the eyes, right? But if you do that stuff before you get these bigger pieces, you're done, you know, you can't, there's no hope for you. Your drawing gets, what happens is you get, these become too big and they don't fit in proportion with everything else. So we like to give importance to the things that we think are important. The eyes we think are important because they're cute on a cat, because we look at them. The ears, we don't like to give importance to the things that we don't, that we like, the space between the cats. We don't give that any importance at all. The left brain thinks that is not cat, I don't have to bother with it. But the right brain has to take into account this space and this space. So it's better not to think of what a thing is. It's better to think about the shapes. And there's more shapes. Now you're like, you guys are going to be like, well, heck, now we've got the shapes inside and outside. What is there? What else, what other ways can we evaluate our shapes? There are ways. Nice work. Go ahead and send it over if you want to. And Nina says on chat, she says she works with Hannah in Toronto, and she's done a little bit of drawing on her own, but being told she needs to take a class. Right. Well, everybody needs to take a class when it comes to drawing. So everyone, every single person. Picasso needed to take a class when he was in drawing. Van Gogh needed to take class. Everybody needed to take classes in drawing. Don't think that any of them could draw like a dream. Maybe a few rare people can do it, but most people have to be taught it, just like most people have to be taught to read, right? We have to be taught to read. Everyone can read. And if you can read, it opens up a whole new set of mental processes, which is really amazing. It's one of those universal skills that gets your whole brain working and affects how you think. In the same way, we all have to be taught to draw because it's a different mental headspace. And your left brain, your verbal brain, is always going to be telling you the wrong thing. So your verbal brain wants you to get the cat's face first, the eyes. It gets overwhelmed by the detail of the fur, thinks you have to draw every little hair. But if you look at it from a right brain perspective, a visual spatial, it's like building a table. You start by cutting. You don't build a table with beautiful legs by starting and carving a beautiful leg. You start by cutting 4 pieces of wood the same size, so your table won't be wobbly, and then a flat piece of, or whatever shape piece of wood that you're going to put on top that will fit over the 4 legs. And then you start to add detail, right? But this is like building. We're constructing this drawing. So we start with the simple shapes and move on. Is anybody ready to see more detail? To see more things? I can show you the next step. Let's see if this will work. Yeah. Nah, it's hard to see. The tricky thing is always to find the color that will work. There we go. So the next set of shapes, still not at the face. Isn't that interesting? Maybe we'll get to the face at this point. The next set of shapes are going to be the separation between the light and the dark areas, the big ones. So in this case, I get to do my kitty's face and this one. So here is where you start to get some of the detail. I'm going to the dark areas where dark meets light. That is key in drawing. Where dark meets light, very, very important here. And here's where you might get to your eyes, the shape of your eyes, because they kind of hit a dark area here. So let me take a picture of this. Here, wait, let me do it for A3, 2. Hey, I got it. A3 is the bigger one. And I'll send them over. I think this is why we resist drawing. It's a little tedious. It's kind of a tediousness to it of paying attention. And Marcel, I'd like to see how you're getting on with your sketch too. Since you're not using the grid, let me know. I'll take a look. I'll be happy to take a look and see if I can answer, if I can help you in any way. What's really fun about this technique? Okay, so this is A3. Ah, the glare. Let's see. Nope, you're gonna have to go on here. Nope, here. Here is the bigger A3. And then here, I'll put this back in just a second. I want to send you a better picture of it. Nope, come up here. Smaller A4. I'll put it up. I'm putting it back up. Sorry, I had to take it off to take a picture. Here we are. Because the glare is kind of too crazy on here. There we go. But I also just sent them across a thread, so you've got them. A3 and A4. So notice how long it takes until we're ready to start dealing with some of these littler details.
Leah,
Yes.
me and Oscar are working on something different. Can
Okay.
I show it to you?
Absolutely. And by the way, that's totally okay for everybody to do. You can work on something different if you want and do that. Yeah, send it over. So once you've joined this WhatsApp thread, you're here to stay until you leave. So until you decide to leave and take yourself off. So even if you're not in class, you're going to see all the assignments coming through. I think that's really wonderful. I love that. You're going to find it's another way that we can kind of create community. Got Marcel. And I'm really happy to see all the TR people here. We've not really had very many at Reuters. It's the bigger TR group. So it's nice to see a lot of you here and joining. Is this
Just
your
found out
grandmother?
yesterday about the class.
Excellent. And not just this class, we have 6 classes a week. So
Yeah, they told us, but they just told us yesterday. So.
Oh, great. Is this your grandmother, Emma? Is this your
My
grandmother?
great-grandmother.
Your great grandma. I need to see the source to help you.
Can I send it to the chat, or is that?
Yeah,
too
send it
much?
to the chat. Send it to the chat. Absolutely. Well, these guys are working. It's a good. Yeah, it's really hard to nuance the details of faces to show femininity. I have always found that to be true. It's tough. It takes a lot of practice because it's tiny. All right, so her nose is a little narrower. I think, Emma, it'll help you to turn this upside down. You basically have things, I'm just double checking here. You have things in the right, boy, this is the one with the sad story, right? I'm just checking your proportions. Okay, so the first thing, the first problematic, well, no, actually, that's okay. All right, the proportions look pretty good. Turn your source upside down and notice that her nose is a little bit narrow, this sort of area of her nose. I'm going to show it right here on the, whoops, no, I'm not going to do that. Notice that the bridge of her nose is narrower. Look at the shadow of her nose. And I feel like you need to reshape her mouth again, particularly her upper lip. You've got her upper lip a little bit too dark and too wide. And I think it needs to come up just a little bit. So try working this upside down to see those shapes. The eyes are looking pretty good. Make sure you get the, but the nose is a touch wide. She looks a little like you. I can see, is she your family?
Yeah, she's my great grandmother. She looks very like my aunt, actually. I can see my aunt in her. I can't see my mother that much, but
yeah, I see a little bit of you in that. I mean, I can see family resemblance, I guess is the way to say that. How's everybody else doing? Where are you at in this process? Is anybody feeling ready? I think you're needing a little bit more time with shapes. If someone is ready to go on to starting to add more detail, let me know. Once you've got all your shapes, give a shout, and then I'll get on to the next level. In the meantime, feel free to send me your pictures as you're working. I can often help you correct if you're feeling like something looks off. And notice that you might find, you know, the nice thing about drawing this way with the outer shapes is that it's way easier to correct. So you don't have to get everything exactly right. You might find later, oh, I need to bring this down so that the paw is, you know, thick enough or wide enough, but that doesn't throw your whole drawing off. It's very easy to correct that. So don't feel badly if you don't feel badly if you don't get it the first time. Racing is really very much part of the process. And I don't know if you even noticed as I was going through, even I do this all the time. I do this every day. Even I can get things in the wrong places if I'm not paying close attention. It'll probably surprise you how small the eyes are once we get to them. It'll probably, let's see. Marcel. Oh yeah, better. Let's see. I think his head is bigger. These two.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too.
Yep, I think, so I'm just looking to see the shape. I think you need this shape in here before you try, and that's your problem because you don't have this shape. Get this shape and this shape in, and then this head needs to be bigger. This head should be.
I just erased it and made it smaller, but I think I made it too small.
Oh, I can't even see it. Yeah, this shape you've got, this is a little bit big, I think, but this shape, look at this shape. I don't see it. Yep, that'll help you because that'll help you know where to place this. I think this is coming out too far. So Marcel's doing something a little bit harder. She's trying to evaluate by sight how to get things in the right places. And that requires a lot more work, which I'm not going to make the rest of you do yet.
Leah,
Yes.
I'm not receiving any of those WhatsApp messages.
Okay.
And I would like to see the exact picture. Did you take the picture?
I have done, yes, I have been doing it. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Hold on, let me figure this out. All right. So
Thank
let me
you,
try and
thank
figure
you,
this.
thank
I sent you a text message with the link. Did you go to your text messages?
Okay, good.
Why don't you check your text messages and see? Osiris. Okay, so Osiris, I think your head is too big. The head on this side is too big.
Okay.
And if you'll notice, the head on this side actually comes up, the kitten on this side actually comes up above. So you've drawn the head below the grid. Bring it up. So bring it up to the places that it is. So here the head comes up maybe 1/3. The head kind of intersects with the grid at about the 1/3 point. So you want to put your line here. This is your head. The ear comes up from here. Nice. Good job. Nice lines. Nice line work though. Did you find it, Zainab?
Not any messages from you. Landscape painting class.
Yes.
The last message that I received. Yes, there is room.
Hold on. All right, I'm going to send you an email. Oops.
Okay.
What's your email address?
I send it actually.
No,
Let
don't
me-
just send it. Just say it out. Hold on. Give me a second. Say it out loud so I can just type it in. What's your email address, dear? Oh, you're typing it in? Okay, let's see. Okay, a little more time with the shapes. Got it. Oh, who are you? Where are you sending it? Zainab, give me your email address and I'll just send it over. Are you typing it in the chat? Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. EYNEP at. Got it. This should be coming over right now. You should have it. And then you should have it now. It's in your email. And then when you get there, I'll resend over all these things. Hey, Mira, I'm having a hard time seeing it if you put it at an angle like that. Can you take a picture of it standing right over it so it's flat? Claudia. Are you using the right, Claudia, are you using A4? Is that what, A3 size?
I'm using A4.
You're using A4, which is the European size?
Little one.
The little one. Okay, looks pretty good. Yep, looks like it's in pretty good shape. Okay, so Claudia, I know you know, I feel like this guy's head is a little bit crunched. I think it needs to come down more. If you see, it's kind of lined up. You have him on the side, so he's 1, 2, it's like 1, it's like a little bit above the halfway point where his face comes down. Otherwise, that looks, and I'd say it's the same here. It comes down a little bit lower than you have it. So get the outer shapes of those cats' faces. Let's see. Not bad, Mira. Good. So there's a little bit more, the confusion here, and I can see where you've got it, is that there's a little white space here. So Mira, take a look here. This kitten's body comes in a little bit further than you have it because he doesn't come all the way to the edge. Here is the edge. See that? So you need to bring in, bring in that side here.
Okay.
Otherwise, this looks great. Are you happy with it? You should be.
Yeah.
This kind of comes in, and see, now I'm being very particular here. So don't feel, this is a really good, you did a reasonable job here. Very nice. This comes out a little bit too much. Your triangle comes out a bit too big. Look here, the triangle is actually quite small. So you can carve that in a little bit. Awesome. All right, let's see who else is sending stuff. Ket, let's see. So Kat, this is looking pretty good. I want you to think this is more like a triangle. You have it it's a slightly different shape. So what you did was you exaggerated your curve here. Can you see this? So I want you to revisit this shape. So there's a confusion here because I see. Yep. I drew this line here. I want you to revisit this shape. Otherwise, this looks really good. Nice work. Anybody pleased with themselves? Ah, Sandra, there you go. Yep. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
It doesn't look beautiful to me, but
It's this is how it's see, this is where you have to you have to retrain yourself, Sandra, because your instincts aren't telling you the right information. At this point, seeing those shapes, you should be able to see those bigger shapes. You can just get his little face down in here, and then you're.
oh yes.
Right. And also, this shape should be bigger because his paw is smaller, right? This shape here.
Let me see.
This one here.
Thank you. Yes. Oh.
Yep, that should be bigger. This is on the A3 version, so if you're looking at A4. Thank you for letting me know. Nice. Hannah, let's see. Oh, good job, Hannah. Great. I'm looking to see if there's anything. So, and Hannah, here's the confusion. I did this to you. I totally did this to you. I drew this extra line in for, here, let me show you. I drew in this extra line for Marcel to see. So you have this paw coming over this edge. This is not a lot. This is not a, I shouldn't have done that here. So your paw actually comes in here. This is how I will do it. So this is the line for the grid right here. And the paw actually comes in this side. I know it looks like it comes over, but this is a line to ignore. I'll get rid of that. Very nice. Excellent work. Excellent. Excellent work. So just bring his little paw in there and you've got it. You guys are great. Is anybody happy with their drawing so far? You kind of pleased that you got things in the right places? Yeah, Sandra. Yep. Great. Get his little face in, Sandra. The bottom of his little face right there. Let's see. Oh, much better. Much better. It's perfect. Can you step back and see it? It's fun. All right. So I think people are looking like they're starting to get to the place. And it's okay if you're not. If you're still working on your shapes, don't worry about it. But for those who are at this place where they've got their shapes, now we're going to start paying attention to something called value. So what is value? Value is, give me a second, the lightness or darkness of any color. Where is my tape here? Hold on.
Oscar's done a little value thing that he's going to send to everybody.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk about value a little bit. I mean, value has many terms, right? Like how much something is, and the more value something has, the more it, the more like say money it is worth, right? So in value terms in drawing, value is the lightness or darkness of any color. So if you want to think of 1 as light and 5 as dark, super dark, 2, 3, and 4 are gradations upward. So 2 might be like that. 3 like that. It's a little tricky to get the gradations, right? See, I'm using my finger to kind of get them, which you can do. You can use, you can often make something darker by doing what's called cross hatching, by going back over with vertical and then horizontal lines, right? That makes things darker. So I want you to practice create a little value scale on your paper somewhere or on another sheet of paper where you do 1, 2, 3, 4. You can actually spell out 5 values. I did 6. Totally, that's fine. 6 works. 6 works. Nice. Yeah, Oscar just did it. Emma's sending over Oscar's work.
Should I send in what I'm drawing? It's something from my schoolwork.
Ah,
Should I send you the source and the
sure. All right. And when I have a chance, and Nina, that looks really good. I'm just looking at it. So Nina, in this particular case, your baby kitty, you need to look at the face comes right up against, you have it away from the edge here. So his face is a little bit small. The shape of his face comes right up to the edge of this grid line. So bring that in and you'll get that shape correct. This looks pretty good. So, and by the way, if you don't want to have folds in your paper, get yourself, this shape looks, this, if you look at Nina at this line here, you have it down here. You have it coming down here like this. Really, look at this little triangle that it makes. This is the shape that you want to create. So you need to bring that line up so that it makes this little triangle. Yep. I know this sounds crazy, but these will make a difference. Let's see. Sandra, did you just send me something?
Yes.
Oh, why am I not seeing it? Oh,
It's-
nice, Oscar. Ha ha. Eating toilet paper for dinner. Very funny. Oscar, watch the shape of your circle. The dark part is too wide. It needs to
I
be
know.
more circular.
I just realized that.
Yep. You can see that you can use the grid for a lot of different things. Let's see. Oh, beautiful, Sandra. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So Sandra, if you want to, you can start. So I know you know about values, so you can go ahead and get started. Those of you who are still practicing values, please go ahead and send me a little scale so I can see it, a couple of you at least. And then we're going to start labeling the darkest parts of this drawing. So really the darkest parts of this drawing, let's see if I can find the right, yes, it'll probably be the blue. This tail is really dark. I'd say it's a 5 or close. I'd say the middle of his eye, their eyes are 5s. Everything else is probably in the 4 region. So this, the body here is like 4. I know there's stripes on it that are darker, but you want to start by laying out kind of a 4 value, and then you can go back in and we can add stripes. Here's 4 down here. Here's let's think that's like 3, slightly lighter up here. These look like 4s to me. So go in and start shading in the 4s and the 5s that you see. And then we'll talk.
Yet, right?
No, we'll do that last. I promise we'll get there. Although
Okay.
you, of all people, oh, nice work, Kat. Nice. Mira, nice. Good job, you guys. Great. Hannah, great. Excellent. Zainab, are you in? I'm hoping you're in now. Are you seeing this stuff? Let me send over a picture of this so you can see all the shapes. I'm going to send this picture again. All right. There we go. I'm not seeing, wait, Zainab, are you in? I don't hear you, honey. I can't, you're muted. You're muted. I still can't hear you. You're muted. You need to unmute yourself so I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
No, I'm not in, actually. I'm just seeing your screen and I'm trying to guess because I don't see the details.
Well, I did send you an,
Lights. And I
sent-
didn't receive email. I didn't receive any of those.
I don't know what to,
messages.
I don't know what to tell you. I've
This
sent
is
it
this is
every
my
way.
yeah, this is my phone.
There's something going on here. Yep.
I don't know.
Yes. All right. I will, let me see if I can, I'm going to
Okay,
move
no
this.
problem. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll
But
get there.
Leah,
What?
you had added her once before, so maybe she's in your contact if you just type Zeynep.
I tried, but I don't think so.
Oh.
So I'm going to take a picture of this with better light so you guys can all see the darks and the lights better. Here, hold on. We're doing that. This is better, so you can really see the lights. Trying to bring this down further enough. Yeah, it's depending on what time of day it is in the studio.
Mhm.
I'm trying to add the rest of you in as contacts, so you show up. Nina, what's your last name? Yeah, you can use the same pencil for shading. Jitania, thank you. By the way, just out of curiosity, how's everybody doing this week? Everybody doing okay? Yeah. I promised.
Thank you for asking.
Promised I wasn't going to like talk about politics, and I will not. We will not talk about politics. But I do want to check in with you. Notice we're about halfway through class. We're going to go about 20 or 25 minutes longer for those who have time, just because we took so long with introductions. I want you to notice how you're feeling now and see if you can remember how you felt when you started the class. Just take note of it. Maybe write a word down to remind you of how you're feeling. I'd like you to pay attention to how you feel at the beginning of class, and then we're also going to pay attention to how we feel at the end. And Zainab, I'm just determined to get you in here. So we're gonna, now that everybody's working, I can kind of focus on it, figure it out. All right, group info. And
It's getting better, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
is your lady getting better? Is your great grandma getting better? Oh yeah, it's just not going
Yeah, I
there.
think so, but I'll send it to you again.
So Zeynep, what you had
Yep.
was ZEYNEPBELL@yahoo.com. That's
That
not
MX,
that
MX.
oh, MX. It doesn't want the
Yeah.
MX. Doesn't want that. Here, let me try this.
Yeah.
Oh. What's the MX?
Mexico.
Mexico.
Ah, that's just so freaking annoying. Now, come on, this should be before the end of class. This is going to happen, and then it never has to happen again. I'll have you in there. Florence Ethel. Yeah. See how you made her nose a little skinnier? You paid attention to that top upper lip. And if you look, Emma, that white area at the bridge of her nose is very thin. It's very thin. That's part of her femininity, is that tiny bridge of her white area on the bridge of her nose. So you could bring up the shading on either side of the nose to really focus on that light shape. But I love how you've got the, the difference between feminine and not feminine is like so small. It's like really small. Great work. All right, let me see. I'm really appreciating Osiris talking about how we process information. You know, Osiris, I honestly think, having taught this for a long time, that there are like several ways people just do it. Some people tend to be more, well, I know they talk about this, right? Kinetic learners versus auditory versus blah, blah, blah. And I think from the visual perspective, what I have learned over time is that for me, it was easier to see me personally, it was easier to see these dark shapes and these light shapes than it was for me to see these contour lines. And that for drawers, people who like the pencil and prefer that as a medium, for them, it's easier to see these lines. It's harder to see these shapes. So I think that's like, you're kind of tend to be more leaning towards painterly if you're thinking about patches and shapes, and more drawerly if you are working on the outlines. One of my very good, I lived in, I studied art in Europe and in Armenia. I lived there for a couple of years. And one of my really good friends, who's a wonderful artist and who did some drawing lessons with me, said he thinks about like pencil, he thinks kind of about pencil drawers and paintbrushes. And the pencil drawers are more like novelists. They're structured. They want more, you know, you have to have a lot of like structure when you're putting something together. So these lines are the structure that makes more sense to them. And paintbrushes are a little bit more like poets. They're more like splashes of shape and color, make more sense to them. Both are completely valid, by the way, and both can be pushed. What I mean pushed, I mean you can develop the other side, but it's good to know what you kind of are drawn to. What's easier for you? That's my romantic.
Can you hear me, Leah?
Yeah.
Okay, so in response to what you just said, that is absolutely true. However, again, people that are autistic or bipolar, there's been some damage to the frontal lobe of the brain.
Ah,
so
right.
Damage done to the brain. So it's not even that it's right and left. It's damage. There's a trauma, something has happened to the brain. So the process is thrown out of sync.
That's
and
so interesting.
With respect to, yeah, and I try to explain this to people so that, because people are easy to dismiss and say, oh, yeah, well, everybody, but it's not. It's, I mean, right. I took a long time in school and finally quit school because it's hard to follow the process of even how it's taught in school.
Right.
Because when I start at the back of a book and read forward. I've had to train myself to read from the first of the book to the back of the book.
So you can train it. So you can train it. Is it a new part of your brain that you're training as that is happening?
No, I'm just trying to simply avoid conversations that I get stuck in communication because I'm trying to process something a little bit slower and delayed.
Got it.
Than most people. So their responses are right off. I'm trying to figure out how to get it in on. And then the other thing is that on your cats, because I am an artist and a painter, all I see are shapes of women. I see a
yes.
It's hard for me to see the cat because
I get
I'm trying to make my brain go, okay, well, yeah, right now, but you're not painting. You're just trying to see the, you know, so that's the problem I'm having is trying to,
get all the other things. So
out of the way.
Have you tried putting this upside down? Have you tried putting the drawing upside down?
I paint upside down. I've not been able to draw upside down.
Does anybody want to try that? I think I'm going to have you guys. Let's try it. We're going to do that. So go ahead and put your drawing upside down. Don't panic. It's actually, Osiris, I'm thinking it might be easier to, and I don't know if this will work for you, but it helps. So turn your drawing upside down and start working upside down. You're going to find it makes no difference. It might help disengage that part of the brain that's saying woman, blah, 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 like all the other things, and might help you focus on the shape. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
And tell me if it's any easier. I find drawing upside down easier. Most of you will. Great.
I mean, again, I see the cats and everything, but I see a clown face with the middle of the center of his nose.
There is a little clown face. There's definitely a clown face there.
So I'm trying to block out all this. That's all.
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Look, listen, I actually think I think that is, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm just hearing what you're saying, and I'm interested, and I'm thinking about my curriculum and how I think about the brain and how I present stuff. So it's helpful for me.
And therefore, it's a whole nother, you guys, just so you know, I work with an autistic artist. He's a savant like I am in art. means that because we're autistic and have some disabilities, we're able to really shine in some of the areas that most people have problems with. But anyway, one of the things they're doing is that there are a lot of adults that have autism and ADD that they have yet to address because most adults have had to live with the condition
Right.
without getting any
Without
kind of help.
knowing it. Right.
Right. And so there's a lot of adults now that they're focusing on that have these kind of disabilities. So you don't have to be ashamed anymore to go to school and class because, you know, just quit. Like, I can't follow them. I don't know what they're talking about. So we're
Right.
able to get a bit more support now.
That's so great. That's so great. But it's also true that I think you'll notice that even within the sort of general range of people, so people, I've noticed that lots of people resist this technique of turning this upside down. But you all are going to find when you turn your drawing upside down, it should be easier to draw. It should be. And that's because your left brain wants to tell you all the things that are going on, all the things it's seeing. And when you turn it upside down, your left brain's kind of short. It just stops the left brain short a little bit. It stops it for a second. It gets I think the left brain's like, wow.
Leah,
Yes.
is there any kind of special marks that we should do for fur?
I know you're asking that question. As usual, I'm going to talk to you about paying attention to the edges of things. So
Okay.
no, there's not, I mean, there are going to be ways you're going to be using your pencil, but where you're going to really be pay attention to the edge. And actually what I'm going to do is send over the original so that you can see the picture. Hold on a second. I'm writing this down. Without all the marks on it, and you can see the transitions better. You're going to look, all your detail is going to be where the transitions are. So you might try, for example, you know, paying attention to like these edges where the dark meets the light. You might go dark and then try taking your eraser in to pull out the light edges, right? You might, where you want to pay attention to the variations is kind of where light meets dark. So if I'm drawing right here, which is what I'm trying to do, that's where I'm not trying to draw every hair, but I'm looking at the shape
Right.
that the white makes against the dark. So I might add the dark in and then use my eraser to pull some light shapes softly in, right? When I use the pencil, I don't really like cross hatching. I tend to like a sort of darker patch. So I'll go over until I have like my darker areas kind of distinct. And then these light areas, which kind of drift in over, I'll try to drift in kind of lightly with my eraser like that. Then maybe with my finger. See, so I'm using my eraser to create a softer white edge.
Right.
That appears a little darker than the light, but really the focus on where the light meets the dark first.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does that help?
A bit. Yeah. I guess it's difficult to do the marks of hair because they go in different directions. I'm sometimes not.
So don't focus on every different direction shift. Look at where the bigger shapes meet the smaller shapes first. That's where your focus is, right? Is that what you're thinking about? Here, hold on. I'm going to send this over to you. So I'm going to resend. Hold on. I'm going to resend over the picture without any marks on it.
I've got it, but
it might as well look at it again here. Ugh. I'm going to send the original actually, so you can see it in color.
The color one on my other iPad.
I'm going to send it over for everyone else to see.
Yes.
So here's the original, you guys, in color. So if you look closely, you can see what's happening, like right here, what's happening with the edges. So here is a slightly harder edge. So Sandra, as I'm going through, I can see this is a fairly hard edge. right here, but this is softer, a little bit harder, a little bit softer. Hard, soft, right? This is all soft. This is a little bit harder. So I'm really paying attention. So what you're going to be doing as you start to add in, once you get your basic areas blocked in, is you're going to start to pay attention to how the big light edges meet the bigger dark edges. And then that's where you put your detail. So instead of drawing every fur,
Right.
you're just going to focus on the edges where light meets dark. So that's the real, I mean, there's many ways to do that, but the real key is paying attention to those edges and not getting overwhelmed with the furs going all the different directions. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like, it's really seeing how these edges interact with each other, dark and light. And that's what I've been trying to sort of get across. I know you want more, and at some point we'll be able to review that, but right now mastering this edge is key,
Okay.
is the most important task. Once you've done that, we can talk about more like detailed things, but it's mastering this edge. How's it going, by the way, guys? You're all very quiet. Is everybody just totally
Takes a long
aimless?
time to shade with pencil.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's possible that you will not finish this drawing by the end of class. That is okay. You can keep working on it and send it in. And by the way, I want to make sure everybody, if I tend to use these for Thomson Reuters has a little gallery that we refresh every 2 weeks. I have an Instagram, the Roaming Studio, where I like to put artists' works when I have time. What I would just let me know if on the thread if you don't want me to use your work. If you are not okay with that, just let me know, or you can send me a private message on WhatsApp just saying I don't want you to do it. Oh yeah. Nice, Marcel. Wow. That is great. Here, I'm going to turn it upside down.
Oh, yes. It's beginning
Nice.
to look like a
Yep.
cat.
So Marcel, I would say, look at the shape of the eyes. If you turn your piece upside down and we blow it up a little bit, so
Yeah.
you see it, right? Notice you have your eyes more like almond shapes. These kitty's eyes are wider here. And and there's kind of pay attention to the triangles on either side and this little white edge. So they're a little bit wider than you make them. The shape of the nose, see that?
Yep.
And then really this area down here is shaded. And then there's a little light edge here. So underneath the mouth, as you're starting to sketch, you probably just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
It's looking good. And then also pay attention to some of the fur textures that I was just talking to Sandra about this that are coming in over here, right? So you can actually take your eraser. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do this like this. So if you do this, right, if I do that, and then I kind of pull my eraser in, I can create some of that texture where the white becomes a little bit darker.
Yep.
Right, but it kind of enters in. It's not exactly a hard line, right? I can create a little bit of that feeling of fur. Let's see if I can do it so you can actually see it. Right, that's what it's harder to do with pencil. I find it way easier to do it with a brush. Nice. Hey, and by the way, Marcel, great job with your construction of the outer shapes. I think these things look really pretty much they're in good perspective. So you're getting better at this, like even better every time, I feel like. I'm looking at, I just love the shape of these cats. Like what I mean to say is you're improving very dramatically. The work you're doing, not that you were bad before, but like it's awesome to know that one can continue to get better. So yeah, over here where there's this kind of transition, what's kind of bumping here is you want that dark to kind of come in softly right here. So I'm looking, see that sort of shape here, so that this doesn't feel separate from your white. There's more of a transition into a gentle transition. Great. Anybody else want to send what they're doing, where they are at this point? Notice that once you get this process into place, it's often easier than anything else. It's like the other things become easier or doable or manageable, right? This is what I'm seeing are very like it's interesting because what happens is once you get this part, that this is easier, our demands for ourselves and our skills go up. Like now we're like demanding that everything be just perfect. But think about it. If you were asked to draw this without looking at it in this way, this would be a lot harder. And this understanding and conceptualizing of, oh, nice, Mira. Yeah. So Mira, I want you to take a look at the shapes of your eyes too on this kitty. So to me, so I'm looking at it upside down. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. Here, I'm just going to turn it upside down so I can see it. What I can see, oh yeah. So what I can see is that the eye is more, you have it canted down. It's more like, take a look at this eye shape. You can really see it. And the whites are not so big. The whites are smaller and the eyeball is bigger. So see, look at the shapes of each thing. I mean, I'm just being nitpicky, right? Your kitten over here looks really good. Now you can start to add the darker stripes in. So this is right. So you can go in with a harder, and if you want, you can increase, you can use a darker pencil. So if you've got any B pencils, like a 2B or a 4B, those are going to be darker. You can go in there and add that on top. You might find that in some places you're going to erase a little bit, right, to pull out your lights, but very nice work.
Right.
Awesome. Also notice that the face here, and how is it working upside down? Is it tripping you out or do you like it? Oh, Osiris, wonderful. So Osiris, you can make these, this area in between the stripes a little darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Yep. But not as dark, right? Like these are 5, the stripes are probably 5s.
Yeah.
And I'd say the in between the stripes is kind of like a 4 or a 3.5, right? These are 5s. It's interesting how much back and forth there is, right, guys? Like I've got Osiris, I've got, make sure I get everybody in here. Right. Oh, I don't want to. I just need to add a contact. All right. Okay, Zainab, you should be in.
Yeah, I just received, yeah. I was about to, yeah, okay.
So let's see. So here is the original. So now we never have to go through this pain again. And I added you into my context. So now it's easy for me to add you into any list. Notice that when you really start to get into this, you stop paying attention to the detail that's not important. The fabric in between the little sheep here, the little Christmas sheep here, the florals over here. You stop paying so much attention to the detail and you start focusing on the task at hand, right? Like, which is working on these bigger shapes. I find that that's what makes painting and drawing doable, is to think about it as from bigger shapes to smaller shapes, right? So I start with my big outer shape, then I go to my darkest, biggest areas within the shapes, these. Then I start paying attention, then I can start adding in the detail and the smaller shapes, but I don't really do that until I get these bigger things in place. Oh, that's coming along. Let's see, Zainab, I'm looking. So actually that's just looking good. Your eye on this side, I'm kind of, oh, I see. So your kitty's eye, you have kind of drifting over the edge here, Zainab.
Mm-hmm.
And really
Yeah.
it's contained right within this
Mm-hmm.
triangle. Nice. Good here. Yeah, it's looking good. Boy, the texture in the fur is looking great. You're natural. These are beautiful. You're gonna want to make this shape a little bigger.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you've got this shape in the wrong place. Really, this shape comes up here, is contained in this. It doesn't come down into this
Mm-hmm.
rectangle. It's up in here. See, it's in this rectangle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still make that correction now and not be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using, what size paper are you using?
A4.
Okay, so A4. So that should be the same as this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nice work, everybody. Anybody have any idea how much time has passed?
22.
It's been almost 2 hours, although we're going to go another 20 minutes. So we've got another 40 minutes in class to work on these drawings. I'm going to go pour myself just one more cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Is anybody else observing anything about this process as they're going through? Are you surprised by the process at all? Does it surprise you? Is the cat, I think what's fun about this process is that the drawing comes out gradually. And then I'll tell you, even after 20 years of drawing and painting, I'm still like, oh my God, look. Looks like I started with these basic shapes and now it looks like something. It's a kind of magical unfurling. That's really fun to watch. Is anybody like noticing anything else about this drawing process as you're going through? If you're just in it, do it. If you're quiet, that means you're probably in right brain and not left.
It's also calming.
It is calming, isn't it? So I should probably stop talking, shouldn't I?
No.
No.
If you have any thoughts on this process, would love to hear it. If not, if you want help, of course. Zainab, nice to meet you. And we got you. I got you. Got you in. We figured that out.
I'm having trouble with a big cat size. They're like, the grid doesn't put them in the right place. I've had to erase the grid.
So even the A3 grid doesn't put them in the right place?
No.
Are you A3
So,
or A4?
A3.
A3.
So I've had this problem before with grids with a slight.
I'm going to take a picture of it up close just to see if it can help us see what's going on here. Hold on. I'm looking. Yeah, grids aren't exact, you know, sometimes aren't entirely exact. Here is that picture of the A3 face. I think what's bugging me is I keep thinking as a number goes up, it gets bigger. So
I think it's because maybe it's like it starts with a big sheet and you fold it in two, and then you fold it in three, and then you fold it in four.
Right. Well, so here is the grid up close. Oscar, great correction on your circle of your toilet paper. Excellent. I think you're done too. Now it's time to go eat it. It's time to have dinner. Nice work. So send it over. Let's see it now that
Hold on.
let's see it, Sandra, now that I've got this close up here and I can look. And
So
I'll be
I'm
able to
totally
tell you.
off the grid now.
You're
But-
off the grid. All right, well, send it over and I'll take a look.
Okay.
Getting off the grid is also a good idea. That looks awesome. I hope your art teacher appreciates your sense of humor, Oscar. Your school art teacher. I clearly appreciate your sense of humor. All right. Yeah, send it over when you want to, when you can, Sandra, and I'll help you
Yeah,
problem
it's so
solve
wrong.
it. I'll help you problem solve it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. See how much more feminine she looks now, Emma? Really great. Claudia. All right. So Claudia, this dark edge is bugging me. Can you please blend it into this one here? Can you please blend that into the edge of your
Okay,
cats?
yeah.
It doesn't look right.
Mhm.
So either make it dark around the edge so we don't see that, or you can do that. If you want to, you can make your cat very nice. Also, let's see. I'm looking at his nose. I want you to revisit his nose. I should say what I like about this. Shapes are fantastic. Little kitten's head. I think you totally got. Although there's a little bit more space. There's really an actual proper eye space between each eye with that kitten. Notice how you've got it a little closer together.
Okay.
And yeah, so this little sharp outline is reading like a hard, everywhere is reading like a hard edge. So those need to be gotten rid of. She's using charcoal, by the way, and at some point in our class, we will do that. We will use charcoal, but I want us to get kind of used to pencils and values first. Also notice, Claudia, it gets slightly darker down here, everything. Nice, but very nice. I mean, great. I'm just giving you a hard time because you're
you
doing
love
great, because you're at a great, because you're at a good spot. You're at a good spot. All right, Sandra, let's see. Yeah, okay. So, well, Sandra, from what I see, the grid, this eye, okay. So let's see.
So when I was trying to put it correctly with a grid, they were at different angles. It was completely wrong. And they were too far apart. Maybe
right now they're
facing
too
the
far.
wrong thing.
Right now they're too
Right.
far apart. So hold on.
Let's
I'm gonna
start
look
over.
at. I'm gonna look at this shapes and try to just help you problem solve the shapes. Hold on. Right now they're too far apart. Way too far apart. So these come. What you have to see in the construction of the face, and let me see if I can show you how this works. Okay, so there is virtually one on this cat. Okay, I'm going to turn this right side up again, you guys, so I can show something to Sandra. No, actually, I'm going to keep it like this. I want you to notice, Sandra, if you look at the picture that I took of this cat, so right here, okay, there
Right.
is one eye space to the right, one eye space in the middle, one eye, and then
Right.
nearly a whole eye space on the right. So the first thing you've got to do is get that distance correct and divide it into fives, just like we do with people, right? And then the second thing is, where does that start? Yep, so the middle of the face, if you look, is right at, well, okay, it's right kind of before the eyes turn in. So it's right before the eyes
I
get, it's
can't
like
see.
Well,
I
look
can't
at,
see your
well,
phone.
what I want you to do is
Oh.
measure the distance from here to here and find the midpoint,
Okay.
right? And then you'll see where the eyes are in relation to that midpoint. The third thing you're going to do is you're going to pay attention to this white shape, because that's going to help you shape the eyes as well. But really the white shape is one. So check, first of all, the distance here. Nice. Nice, Marcel. Great. Just keep on going. Are we going to see you tomorrow, Marcel, for painting, for pastels? Well, she'll tell me. She's probably gone. All right. Anyway. This work. So we are I like this way of being on Zoom. We are together. We are a small enough group to see each other, but we don't have to be looking at the Zoom screen all the time, right? You're focusing on a physical thing, which I think I hear a lot about the term Zoom fatigue, and I really get it. Zoom fatigue is real. Yes, yep, absolutely. Nina, absolutely. You're doing great. You're doing great, and I totally get it. And I'm happy you're here. You should jump into pastel landscapes tomorrow. That's not taught by me, but I'm there, and it's so fun.
Yeah, I'm going to send you the face again and see.
Let's see.
Whether that kind of works.
Okay.
I'm not sure the shape is quite right, but at least we're in a better place.
Ooh, Mira, nice. Mira, eyes are too big on the big one. But other than that, that's looking pretty good. So there is actually one eye. Okay, so this is a great place to look at. It's a great time to move this over to this bigger piece so I can show you guys. Because this is the same thing Sandra's dealing with. You'll notice there's actually one eye space on each side of the eye and in between the eyes. See that?
Okay.
It's 5 eyes across.
Right.
It's really easy to make things too big. Also,
Okay.
notice that the shape of the nose is kind of like curve line, curve line, curve line, and then there's a little line that comes down from there. A lot of you guys are missing this shape.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. But good. I mean, are you happy? I mean, is this, you've done very well. I mean, this is really great. I mean, I don't know when the last time you did a drawing like this complete was. Show this to your kids. They'll be like, Mom, that's good. Notice that it's really easy. All right, Sandra, let's see. So I'll take a look. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, so Sandra, this needs to come. So this needs to come. I'm ignoring the grid now. This one needs to come over a little bit. So the whole eye shape has to, the eyes have to move over a little bit.
Both of them.
Yeah, both
to the
of
left.
them. Yeah, 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 to the
Just
left.
widen the face instead.
Yeah, no, that won't work. If only, Sandra, if only. But you're close. You're really close. So I'm checking a couple of things here. I'm checking so I'm checking the width. So interestingly, the width from here to here is the same as the space between the two eyes, that from one eye to the other. Can you see that?
Which width from the
Here.
top of the
from
head?
the top of the
eyes?
head between the ears to the chin, it's about a little bit wider than the two eyes and the nose, right? So I'm looking here. So that actually, hold on. We might be able to narrow. Wait, don't do anything yet.
Okay.
Hold on. 1, 2. Yep. Just bring in the face on this side and the ear.
Oh, that's easier. Thank you.
Yeah, right. So really you want to make it and bring it exactly one eye width. And then this eye is a little bit big. So nip it in a little bit here. Ha! So what I did was I checked this proportion, if you can see, does work. So now you just have to bring in this whole, that side.
Thank
Much
you.
easier
yeah.
job. Much easier
Yes.
job. All right, we'll go for another 5 minutes. And then if you want to share, please share. If you don't feel like sharing, you don't have to. But I want to look at you for 5 minutes. I just want to see you because I miss seeing people. And I consider all you students my people in a way. I think anyone who can sit for 2 hours and do this is my kind of person. Let's see. Yes, Kat, I can help you with that. But this looks great. I love your little kitty, Kat. I love your little kitty's face. You got that just right. Yeah, so notice, oh, and I see the problem. Are you you're working on A3, right? So just to be clear, you're working on you're working on the smaller, you're working on A4, right? Let me take a look at this. I'm going to move this over. So we're going to see where I want to see if we can locate the eye issue. Yeah, so this needs to come down a little bit. You have your eye right here, right on top of this line. If you'll notice, it's down a little bit. It needs to come down a little bit further here. I'm trying to, yep. See, you have yours riding right on the line. There's actually a significant space. Let me see if I can draw it in. And these seem like little tiny, notice these are little tiny. Here's a little triangle. Can you see it? Yeah. Between the top of the grid, this is where your eye is in relation to the grid, the grid line. And then there is a space. And the second eye you have, where's your grid? The second eye, yeah, so you have the same issue on the second eye. You're kind of, it's riding a little bit too close to the grid line on this side. Also, this is coming when you bring this eye down, you're going to have more space naturally between. So this white space will be the correct shape. So yeah, just Kat, move this eye down, include that little triangle there and see what happens. Are you pleased? I'm pleased. I think this is great. I mean, considering, so what you'll notice is, and this is what Sandra and I are working on, and this is what we're all working on, right? Is that getting like the thing looking, and also Emma was working with her drawing. It's like getting things to look exactly right is like a millimeter difference question. it can seem so huge, right? It's such a small line, but it can seem so huge. Also notice that it's real easy to make things too big as you're focusing on them and working on them. Nice work though, guys. These are wonderful. They make me really happy.
Yeah, I'm going to send you again.
Okay, let's see.
I still think something's wrong. I think the left is too big. Let's see.
You might just have to add a little bit more space on the left side. Let me see how it looks now that you've got the right side carved in.
The left eye is too big.
The his left or the one on our left?
The one on our.
The one on our left.
Or the left
Show
on the
me.
paper.
Show me. Yes, yes, yes. I can see why yoga instructors get confused a lot. Like
Yes.
whatever you're saying, it's like the opposite. It looks really great, Kat. Good job. Good job, Kat. Good job, Mira. Good job, Osiris. Good job, Marcel. Claudia, wonderful. Sign up. I know she's not here anymore, but such great work. Really great work, everybody. And Emma, I love this story. Emma's great grandmother had a kind of tough life. So I think spending time with people, our ancestors who have had a hard time, makes them feel better and you. There's anything to feel better. Hannah, nice work. All right, so I would say the same, although I like the shapes here, there needs to be a little bit more. If I put this here, Hannah, so you can see this big, see this white shape needs to have there's a 1 eye distance between. So you may need to make your eyes a little bit smaller and pull your eraser in to make sure this white space is very clear. Other than that, really good. Are you pleased? I love these edges here that you're starting to pull in on this side. Very nice. Excellent work. I'm pleased. It's good. Yeah, a little bit better. Yeah. So, and also what of course you're missing, Kat, is this nice little light edge, right? That's kind of on either side of the eye and underneath, but that does look better. Take your eraser and create this shape, just like I told Hannah to do. Your nose needs to come down a little farther. The nose, this part of the nose is not so close. In fact, if you want to be literal about it, it's kind of an eye distance on the side. The nose starts, so it comes down a little bit lower. There's a triangle. What you find you do in drawing a lot, let me see if I can sketch this in so you can see what I mean, is you start seeing, it's almost like you're taking, there's like a little square here, right? Between the 2 eyes and then the bottom where the nose starts. Nice, Nina. Eyes are a little bit far apart here. If you can bring them in, if you can bring this one in a little closer together, that works, but this is good. This is good. Nice. Yeah, even bigger. Look at this shape. So it's like a triangle and then a square. You want to have enough room for this square and this triangle of shape. So take your eraser and really push it. You'll see. That might mean that you make your nose go down a little bit further and it's a little bit wider. Kat. Great work, you guys. Loving this. All right. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. Although this video will be available.
Oh, Leah, sorry, I thought I'd sent you.
Oh no, let me see it.
Actually, I've worked on it since. Let me send it again.
Yep. Okay. 1, 2. Yep, looking good. 2, 3. So if you look, Sandra, the eye on the right is too
squashed.
Yeah, there should be 1 whole eye space between this eye and the edge, and what's our right edge.
And there is.
Yeah.
There isn't.
There isn't. If you measure it, you'll see.
On the right space.
On the right, look here, here, see if you see here.
I have
one
a nice
here.
space there.
Nope. 1, 2, no, you don't. It's a little bit, when I look up here, it's a little bit too, here, how do I get that? I actually have so much paint on my fingers sometimes. There we go. Take a look. You'll see. 1, look at, if I go across like that, this is where
Maybe
that line should
avoidance
be.
is it.
Yep. But looking really great. All right. So let's take a look at each other for a moment. Say hello, check in. Notice, anybody want to say like how they, if they, how they feel at the end of class? Like, is there any observation? Nice to meet you, Nina. We'll see you soon. Mira, how does it feel? How did this
Relaxed.
feel?
Relaxed, very relaxed.
Are you
Yep, love
surprised
it.
by what you could do? Are you
Yeah.
excited to try more?
Very excited. Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be back.
Excellent. And then I just want you to tell me one thing you think you did really well in class and one thing you think you could work on.
I think I need to work on detail a little bit more. Like, I think my shape was good, but I did not, like, with the lines, it was not going very well. So I need to work on a little bit more detail with that.
Okay, excellent. But what do you think? But shape went well. So shape went well. The grid helped, right?
And I need to work with my shading because I don't think I did that very well.
We'll practice. I'm going to develop a shading exercise for next week.
Okay.
So we
yes,
will
please.
actually do, yes, because I think that's important. We spent so much time.
Textures.
Yep, different
Like
textures.
leaves and-
We'll work
yeah.
on that. I will have a
Okay.
beginning lesson which focuses on that. Oscar, what about you? How do you feel now versus the beginning of class?
More relaxed, obviously, and happy and less stressed. Well, I wasn't that stressed, but
I know. I gotcha.
Oh,
Excellent. Osiris, what about you? How do you feel now?
Calmer
Yeah,
and focused.
nice.
Not so all over the place because there are many things going on. You know how that is.
Oh my God, yes.
And I was also able to, I don't know, again, I kind of was able to feel the cat's energy on the page. I don't know how that may translate to you guys, but
Makes
if
total
you're
sense.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was able to feel the cat on the page, and I own a dog. I'm not a cat thing, but I was able to really feel your drawing. I could feel the emotion you put into it. For lack
Yes.
of a explain it.
Yes, because you were so focused on the shapes.
Yeah.
It helps you. Actually, what's interesting is the focus on this abstract shape helps you feel the
Like
the subject.
Yeah,
And-
because when I put my pencil down there, I didn't have to find the eye. It was like the eye was already on the page, and I just kind of went and found it with the
Yes.
pencil.
You're lucky.
Yes. Sandra, how about you?
When I had trouble with the eyes, obviously, there's always a point where the grid trips me somehow.
Yes, I think there's I think you're in this halfway point between leaving the grid and starting to see things you're not quite there yet, but you've almost there. So what happens is I think you as it was like me with my A3 and my A4. I couldn't get it right. There's some little switch, a mental switch, where when we click it, you're going to be like off and running. I think there's some catch in which you're halfway in the grid and then you're halfway through sort of judging things. But you're there, you're getting there.
I prefer to work without the grids, but this was a complex drawing, and I think I would have been in trouble without the grid. So.
Right. It's great, and of course, you do a lot of this is really wonderful. So, Claudia, what about you?
I honestly was about to give up at one point, but then
Interesting.
I pulled through. Yeah, I had a really rough time. Actually, what helped me was turning it upside down.
Oh, great! I should have done that sooner.
Yeah.
Was it just too complicated? Was it your
No.
coming into the class? I don't normally
Yeah, I
hear you
think
say that.
Yeah, I've been feeling kind of antsy all week, and I've been having trouble just also at the office, just sitting down and concentrating. So, I could feel it translate to
Into
the
what's
page
going
tonight.
on.
So,
Did
yeah.
you shift past it? Did you shift past the antsiness?
Yeah, at some point, yeah, I did. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, I did.
So that's a really good thing to notice. It would be very normal for everybody to feel antsy right now. We live in a crazy ass world. There's a lot of things to be reacting to. You're going to try and cope as much as you can. Your body's going to be like, as you're doing this. So this antsiness, note that if Claudia can get rid of antsiness in 2 hours, that's a really tremendous shift. That's wonderful. Hannah, did you want to share with us how it went for you?
Yeah, it was great. Definitely feel more relaxed.
Excellent.
Surprised I can draw at least one cat. The little guy was a little bit more challenging. But yeah, I look forward to drawing some more at this point. I mean, I had zero experience prior to this. So
I mean, it's kind of you went from like 0 to like 180,
Yeah.
like really quickly, right? Like that's the thing that's amazing.
Meaning I'm
So
gonna take you.
there's a lot more to learn, but I
Right.
appreciate it. I saw growth happen in every single one of you. So just as a reminder, and Osiris, I'm going to email you now all the information so that you've got it. Now that I have you connected on Facebook, I'm going to send it.
Yeah.
For
Oh, thank you.
For those who have any questions, we're having these classes 6 times a week.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah. It's a really, and thank
I
the
wouldn't
LA
be able
Press
to
Club
afford-
and Thomson Reuters and all of it. It's really
Yeah, but
great.
I wouldn't be able to afford in class. If it
Right.
was for-
So thank them for that. I think these are really important. And let's keep in mind, and I'm also going to see if I can upload a drawing tip sheet on how to incorporate drawing into your everyday life. My recommendation is that people who work full time try to get in 3 hours a week. You can divide that up into like 1 class or 2 classes or like an hour at a time, or you can do like 15 minutes a day. And there are a couple of books on there that have great drawing exercises that I recommend. And I recommend if you keep working on something and you like it, you can share it across the thread and take a look at what else we've got on offer. We've got a lot of painting classes and a pastel landscape class tomorrow. Anyway, you're all welcome to any of them. So we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you very
everybody.
much, Leah.
Great
Bye,
work
guys.
today. Great work.
Bye.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
I thank you.
Bye.